Well, thanks for visiting us this morning at KTALnews.com as well as your Weather Authority app. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces, and this is your Monday morning forecast update after a few months of the non-severe weather over the summer. It looks like later tonight we will have our most significant severe weather threat we've seen in quite some time. We'll have a cold front that rolls through, and primary threat for us will be some damaging wind gusts, but we can't rule out maybe some hail and kind of a lesser threat that we'll see an isolated tornado or two, especially south of Interstate 20, and we'll show you that on Futurecast in just a moment here. But the overall weather setup for us today, you can see a cold front that lies back to our northwest. That will be the trigger for the storms later today as well as tonight. And out ahead of that front, it is going to stay very breezy, very warm today as well, and we can't rule out some rain this afternoon, especially north of Interstate 30. So the way the day will play out, I think most of us will be dry for much of the morning and afternoon, but we may see some of these showers and storms spark up in the afternoon heat today. Not an overly hot day, but your temperatures low to mid 80s, which is a good 10 degrees above average in a lot of locations this afternoon. That record high of 90 was set last year in Shreveport, and again with this front coming through later tonight. Although it will be warm today, we will see this cool down in the next few days thanks to this cold front. Winds this morning out of the south about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We are going to have wind gusts today about 25 to 30 miles per hour, and that south wind kind of cranking up the humidity, cranking those temperatures as well ahead of the front, and will be that humidity and that warm air that kind of contributes to that threat for severe storms later today. And north of I-30, we could see some heavy rain, especially in some of these drought-stricken areas, so kind of a lot that we're watching for. So breaking down the storm timing for you on Robbins Toyota Futurecast for most of the day here. It's just going to be mostly cloudy and breezy, but you can see these occasional showers that pop up this afternoon. And here comes the main front, so we're actually showing some of these storms coming in prior to sunset tonight north of I-30, and notice how slow the front moves initially, but the front will get kicked through later tonight, and it will be these storms here, especially once we get closer to midnight tonight. These storms will be the ones that are most capable of those severe weather hazards, so talking about that threat for wind as well as maybe a lesser threat for hail and tornadoes. Most of that would be within this line here, and the better ingredients for severe weather will be further to the south, so especially these areas south of I-20. That's where we could see maybe the higher potential to see some damaging wind gusts late tonight, but we should clear out really quickly here tomorrow morning. Will be a breezy and cooler day on Tuesday, but it doesn't look like we'll carry much, if any, of that rain into Tuesday. And there's a look at the rainfall totals. On average, most of us here will see about half an inch of rain, but there will be some heavier totals here, especially where we need it most. Don't be surprised to see a good 1 to 2 inches of rain with maybe some isolated higher amounts up through Red River as well as McCurtain counties. We could definitely see some of those higher totals further to the south as well. So kind of a low-end threat that we would see any flash flooding, given that the ground is so dry. Should soak up most of this rain without issue, and we'll dry out through the middle of the week. Some great weather here, especially Wednesday and Thursday. We've got another front coming through on Friday. Not as warm out ahead of that front, so it looks like the severe weather threat will be limited, but we'll definitely start the weekend with some cooler temperatures. We'll be in the 60s on Saturday. Rain looks to wrap up as we head through the weekend, and back to 70 degrees by the end of the weekend.